Welcome to Safety Engineering Briefings. Short, practical insights for software and security engineers. We had an incident last month, a seemingly minor configuration error in our logging pipeline. It allowed an attacker to inject malicious data into our analytics dashboards. Not a data breach, thankfully, but it completely eroded trust in the data our product teams relied on. It took a week to fully recover. This wasn't a sophisticated attack. It was a simple mistake, amplified by a lack of layered protection. That's what we're talking about today, defense in depth. Defense in depth isn't about building a really strong wall. It's about accepting that walls will fail. Engineers often think in terms of preventing the first breach. That's important, but it's not enough. Systems are complex. People make mistakes. Code has bugs. Assume compromise is inevitable. Think about layers. Each layer should slow down an attacker. Each layer should detect an attack. And each layer should limit the damage. A common misconception is that layers must all be equally strong. They don't. Layers closer to the asset should be stronger. Layers further out can be simpler. It's about increasing the attacker's work. Consider the cost. Every layer adds complexity. Every layer has maintenance overhead. You need to balance security with usability and operational burden. Don't just add layers randomly. Each layer should address a specific threat, and each layer should be independent. If one layer fails, the others must still function. Redundancy is key. Don't rely on a single point of failure. Think about what happens after a breach. Can you contain the damage? Can you quickly detect and respond? These are critical parts of a defense-in-depth strategy. Let us look at a typical e-commerce platform. We have a web application, an API layer, a database, and a payment processor. A simple attack, SQL injection. A naive approach might focus solely on input validation in the web application. That's the first layer. But what if that validation is bypassed? A defense-in-depth approach adds more. The API layer should also validate inputs. The database should use parameterized queries. Network segmentation limits access to the database. The payment processor should have its own security controls. Monitoring detects unusual database activity. Now, let us say the attacker does manage to inject malicious SQL. Parameterized queries prevent direct code execution. Network segmentation limits the attacker's access. Monitoring alerts the security team. The damage is contained. In a real production environment, we saw this happen with a legacy system. Input validation was weak. The database was directly exposed to the internet. An attacker gained full database access. They exfiltrated customer credit card data. The cost was enormous. Fines, legal fees, and reputational damage. That system lacked even basic defense in depth. Defense in depth isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. It's about accepting failure and mitigating its consequences. Don't focus solely on preventing the initial breach. Think about layers, redundancy, and containment. Now, consider your current projects. What single point of failure worries you the most? If this topic was useful, take a moment to reflect on how it applies to your own systems. See you in the next briefing.